Welcome to Storytime with thee.
Hello there, friends. We are glad you are here for Storytime. This story was co-authored by Maksim, a 4-year-old from New York City, and our creative team. We are excited to share it with you. It is a story about building with care before trouble comes. It is called The 3 Little Fish. Ready to swim in? Let's begin. In the warm sea near Cancun, 3 little fish were best friends. One was Ruby, a bright red little fish. One was Skye, a deep blue little fish. One was Sunny, a cheerful yellow little fish. They lived beside a coral reef and a swaying bed of turtle grass. One morning, after a rough tide, the friends had the same idea. "It is time for each of us to build a home," said the red fish. "A real home," said the blue fish, "where we can rest when the currents get rough." "And one we can finish fast," said the yellow fish with a grin. The yellow fish darted first. He tied seaweed into a wiggly green cottage. It had soft walls and a roof that waved with the tide. "Look how quickly I am done," he cheered. The house looked cozy, but every strand shivered in the current. The blue fish wanted something a little stronger. He found driftwood, thin reeds, and seagrass rope. Soon, he had built a tidy house with wooden sides and a shell door. "It took longer than seaweed," he said, "but not too long." It was sturdier than the yellowfish's house. Still, the wood knocked whenever the tide bumped it. The redfish swam farther out to a quiet part of the reef. There he gathered coral stones, flat oyster shells, and strong seagrass ties. He anchored each wall to the reef rock. He tested the door twice. He built a narrow bubble vent for fresh water. The yellowfish laughed. "You will still be building at dinner time." The bluefish asked, "Why work so hard?" The redfish smiled. "Maybe, but when trouble comes, I want my house to stay put." At last, all 3 homes were ready. The yellowfish spun circles in front of his seaweed cottage. The bluefish admired the shine on his shell door. The redfish checked his coral walls and bubble vent. Just then, a giant shark glided out of the shadowy water beyond the reef. He was silver, grinning, and strong enough to shove sand clouds across the ocean floor. He loved scaring smaller creatures. His eyes narrowed. The shark swam to the yellowfish's seaweed house and thumped his tail against the sand. little fish, come out and say hello," he called. "No, thank you," cried the yellowfish from inside. The shark laughed. "Then I will swish, and I will swing, and I will smack your house away." Swish! Swing! With one giant whoomp of his tail, a roaring current rushed through the seaweed cottage. The walls fluttered apart. The whole house scattered like ribbons. The yellowfish yelped and zipped to the bluefish's house. The shark followed, grinning even wider. He circled the blue house once and slapped the water with his tail. Little fish, come out and say hello." The yellowfish and bluefish shouted together, "No, thank you." "Then I will swish, and I will swing, and I will smack your house away." He struck once. The driftwood rattled. He struck twice. The shell door jumped. On the third swing, the reeds snapped, and the blue house burst apart in bubbles and splinters. The two friends darted over the reef into the redfish's coral house. The redfish pulled the shell door shut and braced it tight. Outside, the shark flashed a crooked grin. Little fish, come out and say hello." All three friends answered, "No, thank you." The shark swished his tail so hard that sand leaped off the ocean floor. He swung again and sent a wild current curling around the house. He slammed the water a third time with all his strength, but the coral walls stayed firm. The oyster shell roof did not budge. The door held fast against the latch. The shark blinked. Not one pebble had shifted. Now the shark was furious. He circled the coral house. He peered through the window. Then he spotted the narrow bubble vent on the roof. Aha! If I cannot knock this house down, I will dive in through that opening. Inside the house, the yellow fish trembled. But the red fish stayed calm. "I planned for this too," he whispered. Under the bubble vent was a reef spring hidden by a shell cover. "Get low," said the redfish, "and hold on." Above them came a scrape and a loud shove as the shark pushed at the bubble vent. The redfish flipped the shell cover with one quick flick of his fin. Whoosh! A burst of fizzy bubbles blasted up through the vent and into the shark's nose. The shark sneezed so hard, he shot backward and bonked his own tail. The yellowfish could not help it. The bluefish laughed too. Outside, the shark sputtered through a cloud of bubbles, blinking and sneezing. He looked at the sturdy coral house and decided he had had enough. With an embarrassed flick of his tail, he zoomed away and did not come back. For a moment, the three little fish simply floated there, listening to the quiet water. Then the yellowfish looked at the bits of seaweed stuck to his fin and said, "I wanted the fastest house." The bluefish nudged a broken reed and sighed, "I wanted the easiest strong-looking house." Both friends turned to the redfish. "You were right to build carefully." The redfish did not brag. He only smiled and opened the door. "Come on," he said. "Tomorrow we build again, and this time we build well." The next morning, the three friends worked side by side. They gathered coral stones. They tied strong seagrass knots. They tested each wall before calling it done. By sunset, 3 sturdy reef houses stood beneath the waves near Cancun. Inside those homes, the 3 little fish felt safe and proud. And that is the story of the 3 little fish. Remember, friends, careful work takes longer, but it can keep you safe when trouble comes. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time, friends.